Hi, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Band Together Leadership. My name is Paul Everts. You can reach my email address, which is BAND2 bandtogether Comcast.net. Please also go to our website, conductingmylife.com. Press the curriculum tab, and you'll see I'm part of the Maxwell leadership team, certified trainer, speaker, and coach. Just had a successful event on the 30th of April in beautiful Visalia. We did 15 invaluable laws of growth. We're planning another one on parenting using the John Maxwell curriculum for parenting. And that is tentatively planned for August 27th, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. We're still working on prices and such, but I'd love to have you there. We'll again be at the First Presbyterian Church of Visalia. Thank you so much for hosting us. They were great hosts. We had a wonderful time. We had 75 people attend the event on the 30th of April. I'm still on a complete high from that event. It's the 9th of May. It's 10:38 from beautiful Roseville, California. I'm in my kitchen. If there are audio problems, I want to apologize right now. If anyone's within a half an hour to 45 minutes of Roseville and would like to be a part of this new journey in my life, love to have you and help me with marketing, production, have better audio equipment and video equipment. And we got an important message to bring out. The message is better people make better leaders. And we need better people. We need better leaders. I do my best to be better than I was yesterday. And sometimes I'm there and sometimes I'm not. So today, that's the law of the timing. I love law of timing. This is John Maxwell's 21 irrefutable laws of leadership. This is number 19, the law of timing. And the law of timing says when to lead as important as what to do and where to go. The law of timing gave him the chance to become president of the United States. It was a volatile time in the nation's history. Everyone was worn out from the war in Vietnam and the disgrace of Watergate. The people were discouraged and demoralized, and they were especially skeptical of anyone who had any connection with Washington government. While campaigning for office, this future president, who had never served in Washington, said about himself, he said, "I have been accused of being an outsider. I plead guilty. Unfortunately, the vast majority of Americans, they're also outsiders." That person is Jimmy Carter. The timing was right for an outsider. When you understand the law of timing, you see why Jimmy Carter was elected president of the United States in 1976. In fact, Carter's life and career are characterized by one well-timed move after another. A graduate of Annapolis, that'd be the Naval Academy, Carter had intended to spend his career in the United States Navy. But when his father unexpectedly died in 1953, he returned to Plains, Georgia, to take over the family business. In only a few years, he became a strong, respected businessman and a leader in the community. In 1962, times were changing. The old political machine in Georgia, with its corrupt methods of electing officials, was beginning to crumble. And Carter decided to run for the Georgia Senate. Carter recognized that for the first time in history, a person who was not part of the old system had a chance of being elected to office. But he faced a huge battle. The entrenched political bosses were still fighting to maintain control of their turf. One corrupt leader openly intimidated voters in the district and falsified voting records. As a result, Carter lost the primary. But Carter refused to quit without a battle. He fought the results of the primary and appealed to a superior court judge to have the voting process reviewed. When the results were overturned, Carter was able to stay on the ticket, and he went on to win the election. Then in 1970, Carter successfully ran for governor. Once again, Carter recognized that the timing was right for a relative newcomer to challenge the establishment political machine. New heading. Non-leaders can't always see it. What Carter did next was almost unthinkable. He decided to run for the President of the United States. He was a man whose entire career as an elected politician consisted of one term in the Georgia Senate and one term as a state governor. His experience was minimal, and he had no presence on the national scene. Carter was such an unknown that when he appeared on the television show What's My Line in 1973 while governor, the panelists did not know him and could not guess his profession. When Carter first threw his hat into the ring of the presidency, people in the media ignored him. They figured that a little ex-governor from the South with no Washington experience had no kind of chance to obtain the Democratic nomination, much less achieve the presidency. But Carter was undaunted. He and a few key associates had recognized that the timing would be right for him in 1976, and they met to talk about it. Carter biographer Peter G. Bourne, who attended the meeting, said that he saw, quote, a unique, open opportunity for an outsider to run for the presidency, unquote. Carter saw it. He knew that it was a now or never proposition. Carter made his candidacy for president official in December of 1975, a year after finishing his term as governor. The reaction of the people across the nation was painfully indifferent. Bourne, the biographer, reported, quote, most journalists seem not to grasp the profound social and political currents affecting the country. The impact of Vietnam, Watergate, the change in race relations in the South, and especially the profound opening up of the political process seemed largely ignored, and candidates were examined only within the context of the old political paradigm, end quote. The law of timing showed that it was the right time for an outsider to run, and Carter was everything that recent presidents had not been. He had no public office while campaigning, having finished his term as governor in 1974. He was not a lawyer by profession. He was a vocal proponent of his Christian faith, and unlike the people who had previously held the nation's highest office, he had not been a part of our Washington politics as a congressman, senator, vice president, or even a cabinet member. Carter was a fresh face with a different approach to government, something the American people desperately wanted. I, John Maxwell, believe that at no time, either before or since, would Jimmy Carter have been elected. Remarkably, on January 20th, 1977, James Earl Carter was inaugurated as the 39th President of the United States. New heading, timing is everything. Number one, first of all, great leaders recognize that when to lead is as important as what to do and where to go. Every time a leader makes a move, there are really only four outcomes, and here's the number one outcome. The wrong action at the wrong time leads to disaster. A leader who takes the wrong action at the wrong time is sure to suffer negative repercussions. When U.S. forces attempted to rescue the Iranian-held hostages during the Carter administration, it was an example of the wrong action at the wrong time. Prior to the decision to try the rescue, Secretary of State Cyrus Vance had argued that the plan was flawed. Cyrus Vance believed something would go wrong. Unfortunately, he was right. Number two, the right action at the wrong time brings resistance. The right action at the wrong time brings resistance. It's one thing to figure out what needs to be done. It is another to understand when to make a move. John Maxwell remembers an example of this kind of bad timing from his leadership experience. In the early 1980s, John Maxwell tried to start a small group at Skyline. That would be his church in San Diego. It was the right thing to do, but it failed miserably. And why? The timing was wrong. They had not recognized that they had developed too few leaders to support the launch. But 6 years later, when they tried again, the program was very successful. It was all a matter of timing. Number three, about timing is everything. Number three, the wrong action at the right time is a mistake. The wrong action at the right time is a mistake. For about a decade, various colleagues of Dr. Maxwell's tried to talk him into doing a radio program. For a long time, he resisted the idea. But a couple of years ago, he recognized the timing was right. So they created a program called Growing Today. However, there's one problem: the format. He wanted to get materials into the hands of people to help them, but he was determined not to accept donations from the public. The solution, he thought, was to air a growth-oriented program and depend on product sales to support it. They found out that that's a mistake. The type of show could not break even. Radio was right, but the type of show was wrong. The law of timing has spoken again. And then the last one is the right action at the right time results in success. The right action at the right time results in success. When leaders do the right things at the right time, success is almost inevitable. People, principles, and processes converge to make an incredible impact. And the results touch not only the leader, but also the followers of the whole organization. When the right leader and the right timing come together, incredible things happen. Think about the life of Winston Churchill. It was not until Winston Churchill was in his 60s that he became Prime Minister of England. A soldier, a writer, and statesman, Churchill had spent his life leading others, but only during the Second World War was the timing right for him to emerge as a great leader. And once the war was over, the people had rallied around him, dismissed him. During his 80th birthday address to Parliament on November the 3rd, 1954, Churchill reflected on his role in Great Britain's leadership. He said, quote, "I have never accepted what many people have kindly said, namely, that I inspired the nation. Their will was resolute and remorseless, and as it proved, unconquerable. It fell to me to express it. It was the nation and the race dwelling all around the globe that had the lion's heart. I had the luck to be called upon to give the roar." End of quote. Churchill's contribution really had nothing to do with luck, but it had a lot to do with timing. He understood the impact that timing can have on a person's life. Another time he described it was like this, quote, "There comes a special moment in everyone's life, a moment for which that person was born, that special opportunity. When he seizes it, will fulfill his mission, a mission for which he is uniquely qualified. In that moment, he finds great success. It's the finest hour." Ladies and gentlemen, law of timing is it's part of life. My timing has been very good in the sense that my career from July 3rd, 1989 to December 22nd, 2021, a lot of good timing. The right time to get a job, right time to change the job, right time for me to get out of the job. I do look forward to going back to being with high school students, but right now I'm enjoying being with adults. And again, I just want to say April 30th was awesome. And I know August 27th will be great too. If you want, again, to hire my services, please contact me. It's been a really wonderful blessing. And I want to share it with as many people as I can before I pass away. I don't mean to be morbid, but it's just great right now. So with that being said, begin with the end in mind. Every choice you make is who you are. Choose wisely. Seek first to understand, then be understood. And finally, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. I care about you. That's why I do this. And hope it helps somebody. Thanks a lot for your time. Love you. God bless.